Look what showed up in the mail today. A brand new magazine trigger guard housing. As you all remember, one of these guns I got from BK Firearms in a large purchase has the bent trigger guard magazine. So what we're going to do is we're going to swap this out, get this repaired so we can go and shoot it. So let me get these screws out. Alright, I removed the damaged magazine housing from the gun. And basically all there is, all of these Mannlicher style magazines are the same. There's a screw here, it holds a clip retainer, and there's a screw here that holds the whole magazine follower assembly. Now, somebody once told me, or somebody said, well, just buy the whole damn thing and because it's going to be difficult to get apart. Well, we'll see. Let me get my screwdriver now. I got to remove the one screw. And by looking at the stripped down one, you see in there's a spring there, and I remember now there's a spring housing that goes in there. That when you press this down, the spring has to go up somewhere. So let's get the screws out and continue. Okay, first one I'm going to remove is right there for the clip retainer. And I believe this is under spring pressure. So once I get the screw actually out, I'm going to have to probably push it. Yep. Okay, it's out of the housing, but the spring is keeping it in. So from the opposite side, small one, from the opposite side, I'm going to take a punch. Okay, and that's all it was. There's a little screw-like pin, and then with the punch here, spring pressure isn't too bad. That is basically all that's in there. The latch goes through that thing and there's a little spring, gives it spring tension. So pretty simple. Now this other one is going to be the one that's difficult. This one, the screw just comes out. Again, simple, basically a pin with a screw slot on one side and a threaded end. That's all it is. But as we look at this magazine housing, how this is this, I believe all of them are the same, is pressed in or has to be pried down and then pressed out. And that's what people are afraid of. I'm just going to go in the padded vise and get this thing loose using a hammer and some punches. I'm not going to show you that because by the time I get over there trying to beat it out and if something goes flying out. But I'm going to try to get it loose and I'll show you what I ended up with. Okay, and then this part, this whole assembly came out of this damaged thing fairly easy. You can see it's kind of bent. Just tapped it out. Now, the trick of getting it back in. If you notice, there's like an angle on this area here. I don't know if you can see it. But what that does is when you put it back in here, kind of hold it up, and then it just actually just presses right the hell back into place. I had it fall in once. There. Line the hole up and it snaps right in there. And we take the screw, put it in, And that's done. Now for the other thing, like I showed you, just basically a little lever in that. Get it in there. And you can use the punch to try to line the hole up, which it kind of does. Basically, it's a matter of putting that screw pin thing back in. This is going to be the difficult part. Just a matter of lining it up, which is a tricky part, and I'll get back here. Okay, getting this back in, it's kind of weird because the spring has to come down like at an angle like this. You use the punch to line it up, wiggle it around, and then that goes in there. And we just set this screw down in. Functioning, everything looks good, and our new trigger guard assembly is together. Pretty simple operation, not that terrible. I mean, you had to give it a little tap forward to get that plate out, but that was it. So I'm going to install it back on the rifle and see if we fixed our problem. Okay, got the gun back together again. Take a clip of ammo. And it locks in. Nice deal. And I want this to go flying out into space. Everything works. So there we go. There is one advantage to the Carcanos. The individual parts are not serialized or have serial numbers on them. I'm sorry. So and also this trigger mechanism is the same on all versions. The only place you're going to find a variance is in the 8mm ones. Okay. And then several features on the 7.3, but the bolts are all interchangeable. All the bolt parts are interchangeable. Other than the fact long rifles have straight bolts and all the others have a bent bolt. Okay, but the magazine housing like was damaged here, all those parts are the same, like I said, until you get to the 8mm may be different, those post-war 8mm jobs. But any of them, the 1891s, 1930s, this is all the same. And it's simple to take parts off. There is a difference in the bolt extractors. There's two versions, okay, an early and a late. These are all early. I think the later war ones are shorter. So I take that back. There is a difference. But pretty much in general, it's kind of easy to take parts off of one Carcano and swap them around to another. So there we go. We got it. It's working. Now we're ready to go to the range. Oh, and it cost me about $24. It was $15 for the part, $8 for shipping, and it probably charged me tax, so it was up almost 25 bucks. But that's the way it goes in the surplus gun market.